Donald Trump's a fighter and he's a worker.
That, of course, President Trump's oldest son, Donald Jr., talking about his father's diagnosis. The president's son also talked about how the Trump campaign is moving forward here in the state of Georgia as we get closer to the election. CBS 46's Ashley Thompson live tonight with that story. And Ashley, Donald Jr. responding to all of the recent headlines.
Rick, that's right. He touched on a number of issues in my one-on-one with him. And with everything going on, he says he really has to step out to get his father's message out.
The first question, of course, I want to ask you is, how is your dad doing?
He's doing very well. I spoke to him over the weekend. Even early on Friday, I spoke to him, and he was fine. I think they're just doing these things out of an abundance of caution.
The Trump team launching Operation MAGA, an effort to move the campaign forward as the president recovers.
Getting out there in front of the American people, I think people like myself are going to have to step up a little bit more.
You'll be seeing a lot more of Don Jr. ahead of the election. Operation MAGA comes during somewhat of a challenging week for the Trump camp. It all started with that turbulent debate. Following the last debate, the commission has indicated they may change some rules or better enforce some rules. Do you support that?
I'm fine with a more moderated debate. I'd love for them to not be able to just sort of do a 2-minute uninterrupted speech of lies, which was what we saw a lot of.
Days after the president would be diagnosed with COVID-19, and he's catching heat for greeting supporters in a motorcade while infected.
I was told that some of the people that he was around were people that had already tested positive for COVID in the past, so they had antibodies, I guess, so that they were able to do that.
This morning, President Trump released a series of tweets from the hospital, and there are reports Don Jr. is not happy about it. I believe it was the Vanity Fair this morning said there was some infighting within your family about the tweets this morning. Did you want to clear that up? Are you upset about those tweets?
I wouldn't listen to anything that Vanity Fair said. I can assure you Vanity Fair is not speaking to anyone in our family, and we're not talking about it. It's totally nonsense.
So Don Jr. says he tested negative for COVID-19 today, and he is scheduled to be tested again tomorrow. He says if that test is negative, then he will hit the campaign trail to stump for his father. Live in Atlanta, I'm Ashley Thompson, CBS 46 News.